Oh well, hello guys, and welcome to a very quick guide on how to do the exploiter orb in Warframe. Today you might be wondering, where do I go? What do I do? How can I not get into it? I'm going to explain it to you. But first, today's run I used Gauss Prime, I used the Exceltra Prime, and I used the Latum. I didn't mod it up in any particular way. Radiation and corrosive damage are useful, but they are not necessary. You will be fine, I promise. Before we head to Fortuna, you need to make sure that you, or at least one of your squad mates, has diluted thermia. You get this from doing the thermia fracture events and the buried debt events at Fortuna. They're not up all the time, so if you do not have a diluted thermia, you will not be able to do this solo. I believe you can go into the Orvalis, and as long as one person has diluted thermia, you can trigger the exploiter orb boss. So when you get to Fortuna, you can, if you have access to the bounty, trigger the bounty from the back rooms, but if not, just head out on to the Orvalis. Then you head over northeast, just above the Harindi crater. There's a big old archway and there is a cave there, and that is deck 12. The cave entrance is visually hard to see, but as long as you're near that archway, look down and there's that teeny tiny little cave entrance. It's so tiny. So head on down into the cave. Nothing special, just go through the doors. I don't think you have to cipher it unlocked, but if you are in an open squad, it will demand that you all be present to start this mission, but only one of you has to put your diluted thermia into the condenser to make condensed thermia, and it is here to your left. There's a panel up here. Pop it in and it will trigger the exploiter orb. She'll come down through the hole above you. She'll be moaning the whole time, but she'll get stuck halfway, and all you have to do is aim for those two back feet that are stuck to the wall. Shoot them until she kind of jumps and releases, and then shoot the other one, and then she'll fall down to the ground and you can actually start the boss fight properly. So to take her down in this first phase, head behind her and you see these vents. They're frozen, man, but we'll shoot them for now. They're shining, so you can shoot them. Take your gun, give them the shooty bang bang. One of them will explode and then she'll wander off. At this point, you will be waiting for some thermia canisters to appear around the edges where Gauss is stood now, and then on the other side, they're glowing orange. You can't miss them. You will pick this canister up and then you will throw it at her frozen vent. There are 3 frozen vents to take down. If you're a good aim, it may take 1 canister. You lob it at the vent and shoot it to explode the thermia all over and defrost her, essentially. If you're a poor aim, it may take 2 to 3, or if she just keeps moving. Once you have defrosted and shot at 2 of these vents, she will move back across the map to where she was originally, and you just rinse and repeat. If you're really good, you might be able to take that vent down as she's wandering back across and screeching at you, but if not, don't worry, she'll settle at the other end and you can just rinse and repeat. Once that's done, she will scuttle out onto the Orvalis, where phase 2 of the fight will begin. While she's scuttling and screeching, head back out of the cave, and there she is, and we're starting phase 2 now. The aim of the game is to overheat her. These little arachnoids are bringing coolant to her. If you can shoot them before they get close to her, they will drop their coolant canisters. She will then tear the ground asunder, open up thermia fractures where you drop these coolant canisters, and they become condensed thermia, which you then lob at her, preferably shoot the canister as it hits her, and you're trying to fill up the gauge to the left here. You're trying to overheat her. Keep going. Stop those coolant arachnoids getting in, lob the thermia at her, and eventually she'll overheat. When it gets to that point and it's in the red, run under her, trigger the action button. As you can see, we're ripping out one of her radiator vent eyeballs. We then have to shoot that eyeball socket, as I'm calling it. There are 3 of these to do. You just rinse and repeat until it's done. If one of those coolant canister lands near her, she will pick it up herself and try to cool herself off, because she's roasting hot from roasting you. It's so much easier in a squad, but you can do the solo if you have the diluted thermia. As you can see, this is the last, it's like a little horn we're going to rip out. We're going to shoot it, and then she's going to explode. There's no better word for it. You don't really want to be in the vicinity, although I stayed on this run and Gauss survived. It was absolutely fine. Also, they tell you to pick up the goodies now before she explodes, otherwise bad things will happen. However, I left it and I actually came back and they were still there. You pick up some lovely goodies. Let's have a look at them, shall we? Obviously, once you've headed back to Fortuna, you can wallow in your winnings. Now, the lazurite Toroid. When I had a resource booster on, I got 2. Okay, so they are impacted by resource boosters. I don't know if Smeeta Kavats will gift them to you as well. But there you go, that's the Exploiter Orb. It is not too difficult actually, it's more of a phased fight, so many hands make light work. If you can get a squad together, go for it. Guys, let me know what you think of the Exploiter Orb, whether you've managed to succeed doing it or not. I thought Gauss was brilliant for a solo run because he's so speedy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you. In the meantime, check out my other videos, but I'd love to see you in the next video, no matter what that may be. So in the meantime, you take care now and goodbye.